Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got the U.S. debt clock. It's got problems, ladies and gentlemen. The UK and Britcoin. Greg Kidd's going to talk about USD Tether. You're going to want every single bit of that. How about Ripple? Microsoft. How about Ripple? Mojaloop. How about Ripple? World's biggest Islamic bank. How about Ripple Visa? How about Ripple and possibly BIS? We got that and the XRP secret 20 moving average. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, it's $1.12 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. We're up 1.4%. Bitcoin right now, 23,000, slightly over. Ethereum, 1642 and 71 cents. We see Tether market cap is 68.1 billion, they say. XRP right now at 39 cents. We're going to keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked it out, it's my sponsor. Yeah, you know it. I love it. It's Glint. It's your ability to get physically allocated gold on your phone with a MasterCard debit card. Spend it anywhere, just everywhere that there's a MasterCard accepted. It's remarkable. You can't beat it. It is just, I tell you, once you start doing it, you won't stop doing it. I'm getting ready to top off my card again, and click the link underneath the video and try it for yourself. There's amazing things coming, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you that. And in a time like this, it makes me feel good that I am accumulating gold, not financial advice. The central banks have the problem. XRP Army has the solution. Know what you hold. And between that and gold, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Again, not financial advice, but the debt clock here is showing huge trouble. How are you paying that back? How are you paying that back without a default? And we know that we're close to another default here. Look right here. Why is this still zero for the ratio of M2 to the M2 supply to oil? Why is it zero to silver? Why is the M2 ratio to gold zero for gold? Something is not right. And this has been like this now for at least a week that I'm aware of. So something is not right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the USDebtClock.org. This isn't some cat in the basement who's put this together for us. What's happening here? Now let's get back into crypto. First of all, shout out to Tony here, Thinking Crypto. Great conversation with Greg Kidd. Shout out to Greg Kidd as well. I want to bring you, first of all, you should watch the whole thing and follow Tony. He should have 1.2 million subs, not 121,000. But here's what we know. USD Tether conversation starts here, and I'm going to let it play. And boy, you're going to want what Greg Kidd's got to say. Think of this while you're listening to what Greg is saying here. First of all, we talked about this on my channel a lot. That's why I call out the market cap of Tether every single video. We are watching it closely. Listen to what he says here.
It's always a crapshoot as to
1 second.
I remember when Tether got into trouble before, and they double used the funds, and 800 or 900 million disappeared. And I was sure Tether would collapse then. But people are like, no, it's so useful for moving money around, especially getting money out of China. We don't really care that it's not fully collateralized, as long as the clock doesn't stop when it's my turn with a hot potato, then we'll keep going. And so there's such a desire for Tether to simply succeed because it's so useful to a bunch of people that want to move a US dollar equivalent without necessarily the scrutiny of the banking system. But there's a lot of tailwinds for Tether, and a lot of sins are covered up in that tailwind. And so it has given them time to, collect more, more funds. But I will say that when, FTX got in trouble, there was one bank that was bailed out in the Bahamas, and that was a bank that had exposure to FTX. It got topped up, and that bank was Deltec. And Deltec just happens to be the bank that also banks Tether.
Remember, that was the bank that, shout out to Big Boy Ben, Ben went down and showed us that they only have 1 or 2 parking spots down there for Deltec Bank. For a $68 billion USD Tether market cap, 1 parking spot.
And so if Deltec went down, even though Tether had money, quote unquote, at a bank, and Deltec went down and Deltec was their bank, that would have punched a hole in their balance sheet too. Mm. So everybody, even if they have like quote unquote banked money, depending on where that bank is and what regulatory regime it's under, it's not 100% guaranteed. We aren't talking about FDIC guarantees here. We're talking about bank money, but it ain't the USA kind of bank money. It's just bank money. And not all banks in all countries are created equal.
I don't think you could say it any better than that, right? Which tells me we're right to follow the market cap of USD Tether. We're right to keep it at the forefront every day in these videos, because if you believe that we're going to build an entire 4th industrial revolution with that kind of vagueness and lack of clarity, look, I got waterfront property out in Arizona. It's oceanfront. You know what I mean? Give me a call. Give me a call. It's not good. UK banks such as NatWest Group are blocking their customers' crypto access, citing concerns over fraud and volatility. Lawmakers at the Commons Treasury were told. Now, look, I just want to very quickly here. The most significant potential benefit is actually some reformation in the way in which the plumbing infrastructure works around payments to simplify and modernize, said Matt Hammerstein, CEO of Barclays, Ripple partner. But said there was a risk of a two-tiered payment system with those who kept using cash and create a bank run if people hoard digital money. Well, look, I think you have to have a way to repatriate that, right? Or at least a way to capture that in a catch-all bucket. Visa has a patent to do that, right? We're going to talk about them in a second, too. Bank of England and the UK, United Kingdom Treasury are gearing up plans to create a digital currency that could provide a new way to pay without necessarily replacing cash. Now, this they go on to say in here, right? It won't be built and ready until at least 2025, they're saying. But what I do want to mention is that, remember, we just announced a few days ago that a pound stablecoin has been introduced off of a partnering Lightning Network. I can't remember. I think it's pound something. But at any rate, there is a stable coin available on 18,000 ATMs, and the UK has made it very clear that they want to use a stable coin, and it could come sooner than 2025 if they want it to. But they are suggesting it will be 2025. So 24 months from now, they're saying, right? We shall see. Now let's shift gears just a little bit here, and let's run through what we know, because in a crypto winter, it never hurts to really touch down on the work that's been done all of these years. And let's not forget, a lot of this crypto winter is intentional suppression by the United States. Now, I know the knee-jerk reaction. Everybody's going to say, well, the United States Securities Exchange Commission, Brad, doesn't get to tell the rest of the world what to do. Well, let me tell you this. Let me remind you of this. The crypto market cap is a global market cap, and it was at $3+ trillion. And the United States Securities Exchange Commission is the only one that's showing a lack of clarity, and the crypto market cap is now $1 trillion and sometimes less than $1 trillion, depending on the mood of Gary Gensler and the SEC. So, in a sense, yes, the United States Securities Exchange Commission can determine what the market's doing because it's squashed over $2 trillion out of it so far. Are you with me? Now let's look at what's been done. Back in 2015, Microsoft already recently expressed interest in 2015 adding new functionalities to its blockchain toolkit through Ripple's Interledger Protocol. Cross-border payments network Ripple, which is one of the top funded fintech startups, that hasn't changed. That's only gotten bigger since 2015, and they're still highly successful while they're being sued right now. And we could be inside of 60 days, let's say, of getting an actual decision on the SEC versus Ripple. We shall see. But then let's remind ourselves of this. Ripple blockchain technology was utilized by Al Rajhi Bank, the world's largest Islamic bank, to conduct safe cross-border transfers. This is the first time the technology has been successfully deployed in Saudi Arabia. Now, I tell you, you tell me what's going on. I see adoption happening, and I see all of this taking place. Let's go to Africa now, and Mojaloop, Ripple conglomerate, partner, collective, I think is the better word. Ripple, Visa, Stellar, CeeLo, Swift, MasterCard, they're all together. They're all together working over in Africa and with Mojaloop. Now let's look at this very quickly here. 24 Hours Crypto puts together a solid 2 minutes. We've talked about all of these things, but I tell you, he says Visa silently working with Ripple, nothing to see here. XRP is going to fly past $100, and that will have all the skeptics in shock. Now, what's interesting here is that he puts together in 2 minutes multiple connections between Ripple partners and Visa. Shout out to 24 Hours Crypto. Give him a follow. What's he got? I don't know what this. Let's see what it is here. Let's see what it is. 9,000 followers. It should be 90,000 followers. Give this guy a follow. Let's blow it up.
Global partnership. That's the footsteps behind Ripple. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. We're going to go start from 2014 and we're going to come all the way to 2022.
There you go.
Because this is how long it's been going on for. 2014, Ripple Labs and Earthport announced global partnership. That is absolutely crazy. Years down the road, Visa acquired Ripple partner Earthport for $250 million. Why? And keep in mind that Visa actually outbidded MasterCard in this. There was a battle between Visa and MasterCard to acquire Earthport. Yep. Why? Ask yourself. It's going to get much, much better. D-Money partners with Ripple to power faster and cheaper cross-border money transfers. For the second phase of implementation, D-Money will leverage RippleNet to facilitate outbound transfers from Thailand and determine the best partner in destination countries for payouts. So right now, what they're doing is only inbound. Okay? But folks, D-Money pairs up with Visa to empower near real-time cross-border payment. Currency Cloud announces partnership with Ripple to process cross-border payments on RippleNet. Where do you guys think I'm going with this? Go ahead and smash that like button if you already know. Visa acquired Currency Cloud. A year later, they partnered up with Ripple. So, ladies and gentlemen, from what we're seeing here, Ripple goes in, Visa acquires it. Why? Because it's the foundation. They're going to create revenue off of this. Folks, you already know where I'm going to go with this, right? Novati taps ODL to improve Australian remittance payments to Southeast Asia. Novati launches new payment platform for purpose-issued Visa cards.
I wonder, though, will some technology challenge emerge? Maybe down the road via blockchain or something, but...
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
My expectation is that Visa, being the powerhouse it is going to be a wonderful partner for anybody who has an idea for a payment solutions system through blockchain.
There you have it. 24 Hours Crypto. Give him a follow. I think he put together a hot clip right there. And then we're going to fill it up with this. Now, I'm not going to play this whole thing, and shout out to 801XRP for this, but I want to bring you in here. He's answering. This is Hyun Song Shin from the BIS, and he is answering here the question about whether wholesale stable coins or wholesale CBDCs will come before the retail side. And he seems to believe that, in some cases they'll happen together, which I think is a quite unique answer at the end of this thing. But I want to bring you in here where he talks about the cross-border multi-bridge. Let's do this.
So it's a very constructive use of cryptography. And using that, what you can do is you can just, you can form smart contracts, you can transfer, you can bundle them so that you have, atomic settlement where the house is transferred if and only if the money is transferred. So you don't need an escrow account and so on. So what this type of system enables you to do is to avoid the current practice, which is to say, if I want to make a payment to a, on behalf of my client to a supplier, on another continent, what you need to do is to hold a deposit in a bank in that jurisdiction, ideally, and then just call up the bank and say, look, debit my account and credit the account of the supplier. And if you don't have an account, you have to use a correspondent bank. And if you don't even have a correspondent bank with a deposit in that jurisdiction, you need to string along a whole host of different correspondent banks. Now, for that system to work, you need to hold balances at all of these different parts of the chain. And in a way, it's going back to the origins of supply chain financing, where the credit function and the payment function all are bundled together. And so it's incredibly intensive in terms of liquidity, and there are the operational challenges all along the chain. What this kind of platform can do is to just short circuit all of that. And of course, what you would need to do is, of course, convert some of your deposits into tokens. Yeah. So you cannot avoid tying up some of your deposits somewhere, but you can just do it once, and let's say just hold it in London, and then the tokens can circulate everywhere. Without having to, lock up liquidity at different points, around the world. Yes, and in fact, we actually draw on on a number of trials actually that's going on in the BIS Innovation Hub in partnership with our member central banks.
Check it out.
So just to mention two, there's one that is run out of the Hong Kong Center of the Innovation Hub that's called Project MBridge. So M being the multi-CBDC platform, and bridge, in the sense of bridging. Then there's another.
You obviously need to have some way to interact cross-border. Yeah. So I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other. Similar to, so I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other. Similar to the model I explained earlier, where with our on-demand liquidity.
So at the end of the day, James Wallace tells us absolutely that the XRP ledger is one of the multi-CBDC models. It doesn't mean that it's chosen. We can't say definitively that the guy, Hyun-Sung Shin, is saying exactly that they're using XRP or the XRP ledger, but it is without question one of the models in the MBridge pilots and demonstrations and testing, right? Now let's take a look at this before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly here. Eggrag Crypto tells us here, the secret, it's the 20 MA, the 20 moving average. Let's take a look at it. This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, right here. This is where we are. 25th of December, 2023 is what he's looking at. Off of this line, if we continue where we are, we could see explosive jump and pop if we bounce off of this. This is getting very exciting to watch, knowing where the case is going, hopefully. I tell you, I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. This is not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.